do Manchester United have to get rid of these players before they can bring new players in?
I mean, it's going to help. At the moment, they've brought in Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo. Cunha was done really early in the window. Then the focus was purely on Bryan Mbeumo, regardless of any other players that they were interested in. The focus now, I have to reiterate from Manchester United's perspective, is player sales. They want to generate some money so that they maybe can go again in this transfer market. But we have been saying throughout this window that they are in the market for a striker. They are in the market for a number 9, and that's regardless of what happens with Rasmus Højlund, because there has been a bit of talk about Italian clubs interested in Rasmus Højlund. But whether he stays or goes, I think Manchester United would want to strengthen in that position. We've been told that initial talks have taken place with Aston Villa over Ollie Watkins, but that's been met with a not for sale from Aston Villa. But could Alejandro Garnacho be key in any possible deal for Ollie Watkins? Because Aston Villa are interested in Alejandro Garnacho as well. They've also explored the conditions of a deal, not only for Ollie Watkins, but for Victor Gyökeres, who we'll come to later, who's going somewhere else. We clearly know about that. Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea, and RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko, who we seem to be talking about nearly every single transfer window. But at this moment in time, all of these players seem to be a little bit too expensive for Manchester United to do. And on the flip side as well, if any of these clubs want to sell these strikers, then Manchester United can do what other clubs will probably try and do to them with regard to those 5 players, and maybe wait until later in the window to maybe get a better price. But maybe the Villa one, with if the interest in Garnacho is pursued, then maybe that can hold the key to maybe a deal for somebody like Ollie Watkins. With regard to Sesko, the interesting one here is that the recruitment director at Manchester United is a gentleman called Christopher Vivell, and he's the one driving the interest in Sesko, because when Sesko was 16, Vivell was the sporting director at Red Bull Salzburg, and he brought him in to that club. Hence, there is that long-running interest. But if you look at what United have done so far in this window, I mentioned Cunha and I mentioned Mbeumo. What they do have in common is that they've got Premier League experience. Now, I just wonder whether Manchester United have looked back in the last few transfer windows and thought, when we've gone abroad for the likes of Højlund, Xerxes, Antony, hasn't worked. We maybe need players who hit the ground running straight away. So hence why they've got these 2 players in their mid-20s, arguably at their peak of their powers, and who have performed really, really well in this league already.
Arsenal have reportedly intensified their pursuit of Crystal Palace midfielder Ebereki Eze, making significant strides towards securing his signature, following their high-profile acquisition of Sporting CP striker Victor Gyökeres. With Eze identified as a priority target throughout the summer transfer window, the Gunners are now accelerating negotiations, aiming to bolster their midfield creativity as part of a broader strategy to challenge more aggressively for the Premier League title. Sources close to the club suggest that Mikel Arteta views Eze's technical finesse, spatial intelligence, and ability to operate between the lines as crucial components in enhancing Arsenal's attacking dynamism, especially alongside recent additions such as Gyökeres. While the signing of Victor Gyökeres adds much-needed firepower and physical presence up front, Arsenal's move for Eze reflects a deliberate shift toward greater tactical flexibility and depth across multiple positions. Having tracked the England international closely over recent months, the North London club is now believed to be in advanced discussions, with Eze's versatility and proven Premier League experience positioning him as a key figure in Arteta's evolving system. Should the deal materialize, it would mark a bold statement of intent by Arsenal's hierarchy, underlining their ambition to not only reinforce squad quality but also to establish a squad capable of contending across all major competitions.